G'day, Ben from Melbourne here. Today I'm going to have a crack at what I think are the greatest records of this century, so the last 25 years since 2000. I've seen a few people do this, not many though, so it seems like there's not many people in the VC buying new albums by bands that have been formed in the last 25 years. Yeah, everybody sticking to their classic rock and prog and the really fucking beige shit they've been putting out recently as well. Sorry about that, sorta. But anyway, what I've tried to do is pick 25 records, not necessarily covering every single year. So you might get like 3 records from one year and no records from another. They're all Australian, of course. And I've also tried to pick bands that were formed within that period of the last 25 years. So no old bands releasing new records. I think there might be one or two, but that's about it. Yeah, let's get into it. All sorts of shit. So let's start off in 2000 with Melbourne's own, the Avalanches. This is like a psychedelic, electronic, hip hop mind fuck. Let's call it that. Surprisingly successful record. This is really dense sample based stuff. But you can shake your boogie, or your booty when you're doing the dishes in your bad tracksuit pants. Very danceable, good dance floor album. A ton, as I said, of samples. Apparently there's about 3,500 samples on this, but it is smooth as silk. Just weird shit cut up in there of dialogue and things as well. Great beats, incredible. They are continuing to this day and releasing good stuff, but this is just like changed the game basically in that genre of music. Next, another Melbourne band, the post-punk legends Bird Blobs. They were kind of like a birthday party for the 2000s with those like unusual time signatures and really primal kind of rhythms and spiky guitar. Led by Tim Evans, who was in a band in the 90s called Mouth, which were a great punk band worth checking out as well as Sea Scouts. But this is kind of the pinnacle of where it all led. Great record. This is just self-titled one. It's their second one. Yeah, if you get a chance to pick this baby up and that kind of primal punk sounds like your thing, this is right up there. That was from 2004, by the way, if I didn't already say that. Now, a favourite on this channel from 2006, Eddie Current Suppression Ring, featuring the mighty Mikey Young on guitar. This just great, straight up, raw punk record. When I say raw, I'm not talking about hardcore or anything like that. It's just raw like the Saints were, raw like, I guess, Radio Birdman and all that stuff was, where it's got good tunes still. It's not just a blur of noise and, ridiculously fast. Great guitar playing. It's got that, like, Mikey Young's got that really clean, spiky sound. Legends over here. Should be legends everywhere. Okay, let's jump to 2009. Speaking of legends, this is one of the older gentlemen. Well, he's not old anymore. He's dead. And that's the late, great Roland S. Howard with his 2009 and sadly only his second solo record. Played on a ton of great records and had the band These Immortal Souls, Crime and the City Solution, and of course The Birthday Party. One of a kind guitarist and songwriter. I know that Mike Carlson is a big fan of his voice on These Immortal Souls albums. Don't listen to him. Yes, it's not a beautiful singing voice, but it gets the job done. Very dark, spacious, cinematic sound, like really, really cool stuff. And yeah, this album's called Pop Crimes. Next, not sure if I've showed these dudes before, but that is the Angular My Disco. They're from Melbourne, kind of like a math rock post-punk thing, just a three-piece. This is from 2010. Bass player, guitar, drummer. It's all about texture with the guitar. It's not like guitar riffs or anything like that. The bass and drums have like that punk funk sort of sound, playing in stupid time signatures as well, but it all seems smooth, and these guys aren't afraid of big spaces. Little Joy is probably my favorite record. I love everything they've done after this. They're getting more and more obtuse. There's a big word for this channel, and stretching that space even further, and unusual sounds. Mainly instrumental, but there are small vocal passages here and there. It's just kind of almost more spoken word, but or chanty kind of vocals, I guess. But yeah, brilliant stuff. Next, change of pace with Dick Diver. This record came out in 2011. New Start Again. This is at the sort of indie pop end of things. And when I say pop, it's not slick. It's more like what you would expect of like indie in the 90s, with wry lyrics, which are quite humorous. Well, the title of the album says it all, which that actual song when they're singing about I'm on New Start Again, which is over here, that's the I guess you call it Social Security in America, and the dole in England. I think we called it the dole too. But anyway, yeah, a lot of great, observations of just everyday life, slacker kind of sound, but yeah, catchy tunes. This released probably, I think, 3 records, all really worth you well checking out, but I particularly like this one from 2011. Did I say they're from Melbourne? This could be a bit Melbourne heavy. Sorry, other states. I'm sure you'll give me shit. Now, this unexpected record in a way, also from 2011 by Adelita, who you may know from Geelong's Mighty Magic Dirt, purveyors of punk, sludge, indie rock, who actually become, in the second part of their career, writing some snappy, catchy tunes. But yeah, and this is the total opposite. It's got electric guitars on it, but no drums. It's very sparse. Vocal. It really brings out Adelita's vocal abilities as well. It's a beautiful record, but it's a dark record. Yeah, she's, as I said, from Geelong. It's, I guess you categorize it as indie rock, but it's got a more mysterious, smoky feel to it. And I think it's just, self-titled. She's released 3 solo records now. A bit more of a full band on the one that followed this. All really good stuff. And of course, Magic Dirt, if you want your wig to flip, grab some of their shit too. Also, in 2011, a bit of a probably underappreciated record in a way, and that's the awesome Lost Animal. This was the debut record called Ex Tropical. Just for the Lose the Baby track alone, which was the first one I heard, just really impressed. It's kind of like electronic synth indie pop stuff, really catchy tunes. There is some guitar in there, but more for accents and mood than actual riffs. So yeah, but really clever stuff. Great lyricist as well. Mentions the drummer with the golden arm. If you know your movies, you know that one. But yeah, really good Melbourne band again, or Melbourne artist, Lost Animal. Right, what year are we up to? Well, we're going to jump to 2012 with another Melbourne band, New War. post-punk. No guitars on this. It's synth, bass, drums, and vocals. Dark, but kind of funky rhythms like some of those punky funk post-punk bands were. There was a lot of punks and posts and P's all in one thing. Have a drink every time I say punk or post-punk. I was just giving you a chance to have a drink. Anyway, yeah, great record. They released another one called Coin, which is really good too, and a live one, I think. They play like the Melbourne Town Hall organ, which is apparently huge. Some people are blessed with a big organ. Hey! But yeah, this record is amazing. Check out the song Ghost Walking, and if you don't like that, well, you're probably going to play Van Morrison shit instead. Okay, let's get back to the garage punk of Geelong, of course, with the Living Eyes. It's very Victorian-centric, this list. This is the debut self-titled one. Of course, the Anti-Fade empire that was built by Billy Gardner, who is Living Eyes main man, and also the guy who started the great Anti-Fade label, which I've mentioned 100,000 times. This is, as I said, punk, but more in that garage rock style. So if you love your garage rock, this is a shed burner. Really cool, catchy as hell, ragged around the edges, just how we like it. All right, from Geelong, another one, and also on the Anti-Fade label. I'm not sure if this one is, but I know a lot of their stuff is the Oz Mutants with their self-titled record. Now, this is like just hectic synth punk, just whacked out shit. Like it's kind of funny as well. Let me have a look. Some of the song titles like Tinnitus, No Motivation, Hate This Town, Pissing in Two Streams. It's all like 100 miles an hour. I think this might be like a precursor to Egg Punk, but this has got more guts in it. If you don't know what Egg Punk is, fucking Wikipedia it. Great band. Jake in the middle there has gone on and formed Alien Nose Job and appeared in a cast of thousands of really good punk bands, which come out of Geelong and Melbourne. Oz Mutants, legends. Let's change gears a moment with the mighty Black Cab. Started off as kind of a psych band, like a stoner psych band, not in a heavy way. I wouldn't say they're not heavy at all, but electronics crept in along the way, and that finally all come together with this album, which is called The Games of the 21st Olympiad, and they do like a concept album, and that's what this is all about. And this is it's got that electronic kraut end of things, kind of synthy psych stuff, but songs, like it's got the beats of a dance floor, but songs, like great song structures put together. Songs like Combat Boots, Sexy Police, just awesome record, awesome band if you ever get to see them live. The older, more psyche stuff with more traditional like guitar sounds is really worth checking out as well, especially their first one, Altamont Diary, which is a concept album about the Altamont show in '69, but this is the one. And that came out in 2014, if I didn't already say. Also in 2014, a bit more Mikey Young with Total Control. Now this is a post-punker, synth-punk, but in a totally different synth universe to Black Cab. This is like cold, icy, kraut rock influence stuff as well. Just the song Black Spring alone is bloody a pube straightener. in a whole different sense of my normal pube straighteners. If you like Mikey Young and you follow him, you're gonna get into Total Control. I think this is their best record. They've released a ton of good shit. Some more guitar based, some more synth based, but Total Control. This is called Typical System. Killer record. Now, are we going to move out of Melbourne? Apparently not, because we're going to get into Total Control. Total Control. The Peep Temple. Just spoke about Total Control. Fuck. Peep Temple, ballsy, straight up, punk and roll style. 1 foot in the garage, a little bit of, that swagger of rock and punk from the 90s. Just, this is worth the admission for the song Carol anyway. And Big Fish is a good song of this too. The whole thing's fucking good. That's why it's in the best or greatest 25 records of this century. By the way, I will just say, if your favourite record isn't in this 25, it's for one of 3 reasons. 1, I don't have it. 2, it's shit. Or 3, all of the above. The Peep Temple. Next, 2014. Guess where these dudes are from? Melbourne! None. I only released 2 records, unfortunately. A couple of good 7-inches as well. Synth-punk, did I say? Yeah, 2014 as well. Really cool stuff. No drums on this except for drum machines. A whole heap of analog synthesizers and Jenny Brannigan on vocals on Art Records, which, yeah, great songs like Cronenberg. You can guess what that's about. Uri Geller, you can guess what that's about. Evoke the Sleep is a good one as well. Yeah, dark synth punk, really interesting stuff. Not, sort of more textured than your average synth punk, because you got 3 people on the synths and it's a really cool layered sound. So None with their self-titled record from 2014. All right, technically it's Melbourne, but it's also Deniliquin and Geelong, but it is Victoria, with the heroes, the worldwide champions of garage and psych rock, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, with what I think is their best record, Nonagon Infinity. Now, this is them at the perfect axis of rockin' and psych and their conceptual ideas, and the conceptual ideas of this one is kind of hard to grasp because it's kind of this conceptual continuity where one song runs into the other on an eternal loop apparently, but that's not true because the record actually ends and you have to flip it over. But you will hear grabs of other songs in songs which come later on and vice versa. It's one of them ones where it can just wash by you and all sound like one big song. But the more you listen to it, the more rewarding this is. This is a rockin' record. It's just like this and possibly the, Ice, Death, Mushrooms, something, and Lava are up there as my favorites of their records. I love like all of that first 5 early stuff where they're a bit more garagey and psych, but this is the shiznit, baby. Okay, what year are we up to? 2016, another one with the great Summer Flake with their record Hello Friends, with Steph Crace on vocals and guitar. Missed her lips there with the lipstick by a big way, actually. This is fantastic. She's a killer guitarist. And when I say killer, it's more in that dream pop style. These are just beautiful, like, dream pop songs with the slightest tinge of, like, shoegaze. Never gets as kind of heavy as shoegaze, but great record. And it's actually, I'm not a seasonal person, and maybe because it's called Summer Flake, I feel like it's a good summer record. But this is really good, and the record after this is great as well. Just escapes the name. I mean, it's got a bluish cover. But yeah, Summer Flake, if you dig your indie rock dream pop with great guitar, check this baby out. All right, 2017 with, sadly, the now defunct Melbourne band. We might get to another state soon. Gold Class with their record Drum. Now, this is definitely the sum of its influences. You can hear them in there, but they still sound like themselves, if that makes sense. So you can hear, all that post-punk stuff, of more like the new wave post-punk mixed in together. So Joy Division kind of sounds, Wire, Gang of Four, all those sorts of things, which is all good shit. So yeah, these dudes, post-punk, indie rock, but good catchy songs, great vocalist as well, and that urgent post-punk guitar sound that I love. And, the rhythm section is as tight as a fish's ass. Killer record from 2017, Gold Class. Also check out the single Michael off a previous record. That's a ripper as well. Well, for talking about the last 25 years, I can't not mention Courtney Barnett from Melbourne. This is probably my favourite record of hers. Well, it is, because it's in this list. Tell Me How You Really Feel. The follow-up to the double EP with Avant Gardner, which put her on the world stage to start with. But this is like just a really good indie rock record, with sort of an alt rock feel, I suppose, for the want of a better term. She's just, as you know, great lyricist, great guitarist, really good songs that stay with you. Probably this one's a little bit darker. I just saw my notes there. Hopefully people from New South Wales will dig me, because Courtney's actually Sydney born, even though she's based here. Is that right? New South Wales? Okay, we're getting there. This is a good rock and roll town, Melbourne. There's no doubting it. But of course, what can I say that hasn't already been said about how awesome Courtney Barnett is? Great string of albums. She's probably about due to drop one. It's been a little while. But yeah, this is my favourite so far on the Courtney journey. All right, so not Sydney born, but not from Melbourne, but from Geelong. Orb, or as I saw them called, Organic Rock Band recently, which I quite like. Now, this is them at the height of their psych rock. Initially, they were like a very Sabbath-influenced band, which actually become their own thing. And early on, you would just say, oh, that's just a blatant Sabbath. But then it turned into something else entirely, with like, if Sabbath were more psychedelic, played a few faster songs, and also had Bill Bruford on drums. Yes, there's like proggy style drums, but let's not get too carried away. More in like a King Crimson way, where it's like fucking bit more balls to it than that symphonic writing suites and having orchestras and all that bullshit. This is song based, great players, all of them. And just a cracking psych record. They released a new one with a new drummer, which I'm still getting my head around, which I like. This one, by the way, is called Space Between. I think a few people in the VC have got onto this one and like this band. A lot of you think that's like Mike Carlson got you onto this, but no, it was me. Oh, actual Sydney band now from New South Wales, if you're not from Australia. And that's the great Straight Arrows with On Top. Now, if I had my way, this is what pop punk would sound like. Heaps of ragged, catchy, punky garage tunes, which just stay in your head. Awesome stuff. Owen Penglis, I always struggle with his surname, is the main man who writes all the songs and sings them all as well. Killer record. All their stuff is really good. This is probably, for the want of a better word, the most accessible. The songs are just like bang, 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 one after another. Just good, fun, catchy punk stuff. His dad, I think, was in the Atlantics, the legendary surf rock band from the 60s in Australia. Straight Arrows on top. And that, if I didn't say, came out in 2018. Did I say the last one? Yeah, Orb was 2018 as well. All right. Now for an old fart to keep you old farts that watch this happy. And I could have picked another album, but I actually think this is the best thing Nick Cave has done. I just gave it away. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds with the double album Ghosteen. He is from Melbourne, originally from Warwick Nabil, in country Victoria. If you don't know, singer-songwriter, heavily influenced, I guess, by people like Leonard Cohen and Bob Dylan and all that shiznit. But is his own thing. Like, there's definitely folk blues, ambient elements in there. They're like, as I said before, like the Bad Seeds were the new traditionalists of rock and roll. But this is like an amazing record. It's a beautiful record. If you're looking for old style Bad Seeds, this isn't what you're looking for. I really like this and Push the Sky, since he's like taken a left turn and changed his sound quite a bit. Two of the best records I think he's done in like the, since we've clocked over to the 2000s. Okay, we're getting there, peeps. Shepherd and Airplane. I think we've only got one legit Sydney band, and that was the Straight Arrows. Oh, sorry, Western Australia. Sorry, South Australia. Sorry, Tassie. Well, technically, Tim Evans from Bird Blobs. He's from Tasmania originally. Sorry, Northern Territory. And sorry, Queensland. And, nobody really cares about Canberra. The ACT. Australian Capital Territory. That is to you. Shepherd and Airplane. Post-punk. Indie rock. If... This is what I think Sonic Youth would sound like if they were an Australian band. I reckon that's a good description. There's like wig outs like Sonic Youth style, but then there's like that Australian like punk inflected, swagger, which we love. This record's from 2020. They've just released a new one this year, and it's shaping up, with the more I listen to it, to be a ripper as well. Real corker of an album. But this is awesome. Previous one to this as well, Al Murder, I think it's called. It's got the cartoon of the emu on the front. That's a ripper as well. Great live band too. Shepherd and Airplane with their record Sharks. Why did I look at the side? I could have just... Well, there's only one shark, isn't there? But there's several on the back and a dead diver. Next, for all you shoegaze fans... have a guess where this band's from. Melbourne. And that's the mighty Flying Colours, with flying incorrectly spelt and colours spelt correctly. Stick a U in there, Americans, and you'll all be good. This album, Fantasy Country, is from 2021. They released another one since this, which I think might be 23 or 24, which is a ripper as well. Some great EPs. If you love, your psych, more psychedelic shoegaze, these guys are doing it, or what they call new gaze these days, as good as anyone. Like, there's a lot of overseas bands which are really cool shoegaze bands as well, but these guys, if they had the exposure some of them did, they'd be like top of the heap in my opinion. This is just really good. And what I like about this is it's like, it is very shoegaze heavy, but there's good hooks and songs to latch onto in this as well. Great record. If you don't know them, I really recommend you check them out. And now the newest record of the bunch, which I just couldn't leave this out. and that's Lewis Coleman's record from 2023 called Offline. It's like indie rock, alt pop, I suppose. Just really good songs. It's like he's going to be something if this is the indication of his first record. Like the first song, Offline, it's like a pretty audacious move to open with like a 7 or 8 minute song. And no, it's not a prog fucking song. It's just a great song which just keeps on giving the whole way through, and the whole record is really good. Not heavy or anything like that, not punky, just really good indie sort of pop rock styling songs. Yeah, really interested to see what this dude does. And we've just clocked in at 30 minutes, and that was the last record. So hope you enjoyed that. That's my favorite, greatest 25 records of the last 25 years or of this century. Couple of special mentions, people 10 which released great records also in that time period, and that'd be like Banana Gun, the Goon Sax, Beaches, Tame Impala, of course, Stonefield, Jack Ladder, the Sand Pebbles, Ooga Boogers, Jen Clower, and Leah Senior are all worthy of checking out as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, if you're lucky.